But something I'm always curious with an author is when the idea like comes to you, like when and where you are that you get this idea for the story of the Owen sisters.
I know exactly where I was, which is like not the case usually for me. I was in Wellfleet, Massachusetts, and I was about to step into this little shed it was kind of a little tiny gardening shed where I worked. And I suddenly thought the title Practical Magic. And I thought that is such a good title. I should write a book to go with it. And then I walked into the shed and did it.
So the title came to you before the Owen sisters.
Yeah. Yeah. It was
Wow.
just a title.
And are you like a discovery writer or are you more of a plotted out writer?
Interesting question. You must be a writer. I used to be kind of more free. Now I tend to do an outline. Not that it's not that it's going to stay that way,
Mhm.
but I'm working on an outline right now. So yeah.
Oh, can I ask of what?
No.
No? Okay. I had to try. I had to
You know
try.
why? Because it might completely change.
Mhm.
So
Yeah.
you never know.
That's I have a lot of author friends too, and they'll send me their outlines and I'll look them over and then they're like, so ignore all of that. It's a completely different book now. And I'm like,
That's
okay,
it.
great.
That's exactly what happens. That's why I don't show anybody anything until it's pretty much done.
Yeah, it's smart. It's smart. So when did this idea for the sequels come to you? Because there's two prequels and a sequel, which you wrote a decent amount of time later.
I think like 20 years later.
Yeah.
It really didn't come from me. Really, my readers kept saying, like, what happened with the rest of the family? We want to know more. And they really wanted a sequel, but I decided to write two prequels
Yeah.
first, just to know, like, how the family had come to be, the history of the family. And then I finally wrote a book called The Book of Magic, which was the sequel.
Yeah. I mean, that was my when I was reading the book for the first time, I was like, I want to know more about the aunts and the curse. Like, I want to know about more about these people. And so when those came out, I was like, yes,
Thank you.
finally.
Yeah, I mean, otherwise, if I hadn't gotten so many letters and texts, I think I wouldn't have done it. I think I wouldn't have thought of doing it.
Wow, that's amazing. Look
Yeah.
at the fans go. So, Practical Magic 2, the movie, is going to be following the second book, the Book of Magic. Is there anything you can tell us about the movie at all that you're aware of?
Well, I can't tell you much except it does follow the Book of Magic, and it is many years later.
Okay.
And part of it takes place in England and in London, which is true. That's where they filmed the movie this summer. So, um, just like a book, like you don't really know until it's finished and it's edited. And so I think it stays pretty true to the book. And
Oh,
of course, it's about sisterhood. So
yep.
that's the most important thing.
That's so great. And is there a scene that you're most excited to come, like to see it come to life from the book?
Oh, well, I don't know because the film is so different than the book,
Hmm.
and it's like it's so funny because you're in a room by yourself and writing this book and then suddenly hundreds of people are involved.
Hmm.
And so it's going to change. So I think the scene I'll love the most is I have to see it. You know, I
Okay.
it all depends on what's in the movie.
This is your second time doing this event with Love Struck, and I'm
Yeah.
just curious, why did you choose Love Struck? I mean, they weren't even a permanent bookstore yet in Boston.
I feel like uh one of the things that really drew me to Cambridge is that it was a city of bookstores,
Mhm.
and that became less and less as the years went by. I mean, there's the Harvard bookstore, which is great, and the Coop, but Lovestruck brings this new life to Cambridge, and I think part of what they're doing is it feels like it's a community.
Mhm.
And sometimes you just go there and there are people sitting there having coffee reading together, like not talking, but reading together. And it's just a wonderful new addition to Harvard Square.
Yeah, I agree completely. That's my reason. I go to Love Struck every week, and the staff is amazing. The patrons are
They
amazing.
are. They are amazing, and you can just hang out and you wind up talking to people. It's just a different experience than anything I've ever had before in a bookstore.
So, do you think they're an independent bookstore? So, do you think that's one of the reasons why independent bookstores are so important is because of this idea of community?
I think so much so, and also that they are behind books that aren't necessarily the typical book, the bestseller, the book that you see everywhere. They have such a wide variety, and I think you can kind of, and also the staff is great about recommending books, which I think really matters. So you're not just ordering something, you're talking to someone who knows about books and
Mhm.
who can recommend what they love.
Yeah. They're very great for that. You can go in with like 2 words and they'll have like 8 books somehow for those 2 words.
Right. And it is a romance bookstore, but it's also more than that. There's so many different kinds of books there.
Yeah.
And I just feel like there's just a quality of community that that is really important.
Yeah, I agree. There's a lot of thought put into everything
Yeah.
in there. It's a very thoughtful place. And the coffee is also great, which is a plus. So I know at the beginning you said you're outlining something, but a question I had is if there was any story that's kind of like been in the back of your mind that you've been itching to tell. I know you've done aquamarine, so some mermaids, and we've done practical magic, so some witches. I don't know if you'll ever dive into any other supernatural
Well,
being.
I'm really interested in ghosts at the moment,
Oh.
especially because I live in an old house and I've lived in several old houses where I've kind of like even I feel like I'm not a believer and yet I've had certain experiences that I think a lot of people have had and you just kind of chalk it up to, oh, it's an accidental something or other. But so I'm kind of interested in that right now.
Okay. Good time of year to be interested in ghosts.
I think so. Yeah.
Well, that's all the questions I had. I don't know if there's anything else you'd like to add, anything you're really looking forward to with the event.
Well, you know what I'm really looking forward to? The same thing happened last year. There's this sense of community.
Mhm.
Most people have seen the movie already, and it's just fun watching it with your friends
Yeah.
and kind of sharing it. I think that's a big part of it. And I'll be in conversation with the writer Laura Zigman, who's fantastic. So I think we'll have fun before the movie and during it and after it.
Great. That's so I'm very excited for the event. I'm sure everyone else. It sold out very quickly.
It did.
Yes, very quickly. I set an alarm and everything. I was like, I will not miss it.
I'm so glad. Well, I'll see you there.
Yes, you will. So thank you so much for taking the time to speak with me
Thank
today.
you. Thank you. I
Thank you.
really appreciate
Yeah.
being here.